Hey everyone, I'm Chantel. I'm director of Central Perk Dream Team, and tonight I'm going to be going over how to broaden your audience as far as customers, as far as continued customers, and all of that jazz. With Scentsy, it is something that you should think of kind of as a cup with a hole in the bottom of it. Basically, what that means is that you are constantly going to have to keep adding new audience to your customer base as you go. You can never just rely straight and forward and everything on one person. Same with when you join Scentsy, you may have an amazing launch party. You may have some great friends and family that support you and do amazing. But if you're going to want to keep growing, you're going to have to keep expanding your audience, right? So one thing with Scentsy and any direct sales that you can do is parties, whether it's Facebook, online, in person, text messaging. There are so many ways to party, and that's really the main thing that's going to keep you going, especially with any direct sales company that you do. It doesn't matter if it's Scentsy or whatever it is that you're doing. Parties are going to be key to getting things out there and to grow. So, but one thing you may be wondering is, how do I get people to schedule parties? Because at the beginning of when I joined Scentsy back in 2022, parties were a huge thing on Facebook. A lot of people like to do Facebook parties. We were still kind of in that post-COVID lag that a lot of stuff was relying heavily on social media. Flash forward to 2024, and even though it's only been a little bit of time, I feel like Facebook parties are now becoming a thing of the past. And that doesn't mean that they don't work at all, because they do. It's great for people that are busy and on the go, but it's not something that I would say to rely heavily on. Of course, though, some people may, and that's great if it works for them. I'm just going to share kind of what works for me and how I expand and change with the ever-changing thing that's going on. So first off, when it comes to parties, I always recommend to offer people a party link, a party on Facebook, a party of some kind, and kind of play with the wording too, because party can be a turnoff, the word party. I'm not gonna lie, when somebody asks me to host a party, most of the time I'm like, no. So I try to kind of word things differently, and you have to see what works best for you. It is all a gamble. It is all a test. It is all something that's going to vary person to person and audience to audience, right? So with Facebook parties, I always offer to do them. A lot of people may not realize that they can get free and half off credits with Scentsy when they do a link or Facebook party or however they're doing it. There are some direct sales companies that offer certain exclusive items, and that's all you get if you do a party. Scentsy is great in that you get the free and half off credits, so they have the freedom to choose how they want to use that. There are some limitations, of course, like they can't use the credits and the rewards on clearance or whiff box or licensed, but there's a way to kind of work around things like that too. So you really just have to see what your customer wants and what's driving them. So with parties and sharing the rewards, that is the number one thing that I'm going to say. When you have a party, you are opening up your audience to their friends, their family, and if they invite their friends and family to, so if your host's friends and family invite their friends and family to the party, you're just going to keep growing your audience. So that is the huge thing about parties that work so great, because you are getting in contact with people you otherwise would not. So that is going to be a huge thing. Always make sure to offer the rewards to people. Always offer the ability to do an event, a sip and sniff, a link, however you want to word it. Always offer that, but be real. The last thing people want is somebody that's spammy and that's just very clearly just saying it kind of in a robotic way. Nobody likes that. Be real, be you. Come and approach people how you would want to be approached as well. So with parties, what I do is I send out stuff to the hosts themselves about a week or so, maybe before the party starts, and it has catalogs and samples, scented stickers, whatever I have available that I can share and send. With that, there are some people that are not on Facebook. There are some people that can't make it to in-home parties. But that host kit allows the host to take it to work, to take it to friends, to take it wherever they want to go. And they're still getting in contact with those people. So if somebody orders and you're like, okay, well, they're putting in an order with the host, but how the heck do I get a hold of them? I always encourage the host to get that person's information. And if somebody ever orders from you, whether it is at a daycare, at a school, at work, you always get their information. If you let anybody slide out without getting their information, you are losing potentially an amazing customer or even an amazing potential future teamie, right? Not everybody wants to give their information, and that's okay too. So that's not something that necessarily you have to do, but it is something that I highly encourage to do for sure. So when it comes to that part, you get their information and then you follow up. Follow up is something that I will always heavily share, just because it is something so big to me. It's so important to me. And I'm sorry, Sam, I see you on here, but I'm like showing you only. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay. So when it comes to that, you follow up. And when I say follow up, you're going to text them. You're going to send them a message on Messenger. You're going to send them just a quick little note in the mail. However you do your follow-ups, however you know that you can consistently do your follow-ups, that's what you're going to do. And when I say to message them or messenger them, don't cold message people. Do not message them in spammy, robotic, copy paste ways. Change it up, be real, be authentic, be you. So when you have those parties, you want to get the people's information. You want to offer to them to host a party and be like, hey, if you would love to host a party or you want to support your friend or your family, but you don't have the money to, do you want to do a party? Because that would actually help them as well. Every Facebook party that you do or in-person party, you get that perpetual reward. And that's basically a bonus half off reward. For me personally, I use that to my hosts. So what I do personally is say Susie books a party off of Jane. When Susie closes her Facebook party or her in-person party, I am going to use that half off reward to give Jane something half off for bringing Susie to me. So I always try to give some kind of fun reward for that because it's not only fun for them to get something for your half off, but it's really helping my business grow too. And you don't have to do that, but it's definitely something that I recommend. Whether you get something on clearance and you have extra sticking around in your house, like a little supply of wax bars like I have back there, offer a wax bar, a scent circle, a scent and sniff sticker, catalog. People love free stuff. I love free stuff. So I love all kinds of free stuff. Do 5% off their purchase, 10% off, whatever you can do financially for your specific situation, kind of find something and do that. Because then it makes it fun for people to encourage other people to host parties off of them. Once you close a party, I always, of course, right when somebody orders, I always tell them thank you for their order. Once it's delivered, I try my best to make it a point to reach out again to them, make sure they got it, make sure nothing was broken in the process, make sure that they liked the smell that they got, everything's working, all of that jazz. So around that time too is when they would get Happy Mail from me in the mail, and that's usually got some scent samples. It's usually has something fun like a scent circle, confetti, of course. It has something like that with it, but again, it's putting your name back out there to them. Their email, if they order off your site, will automatically be in your customer contact log. However, if people make an account or they purchase from you, they have to hit that they are subscribing to Scentsy emails to get the emails that Scentsy will do for you. So I want to make sure to heavily emphasize that, because even though their email is going on your account as a customer, they may not get those emails that Scentsy puts out for you because they have to physically check mark that box. So with that, my workaround is I send personal emails once, twice a month, usually to my customers, and I send it to everybody that has an email in there. People can block me if they don't want to see my emails. It's fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings or anything like that. People are more than welcome to do that. I respect that. Or if somebody were to write back and say, hey, take me off the log, totally fine. But that is kind of a workaround to make sure that people are still seeing your information, even if they're not actively ordering, because just ordering from you is not going to give them those automated Scentsy emails that Scentsy sends out. So I do the follow-up right away. I do the follow-up when it's delivered. I do the happy mail. And usually around 2 to 3 months or a catalog change, I will reach back out again and just make sure that they don't need anything, especially if they're local. I will do that as well, just kind of to keep your name in the back of their mind. I always invite people to my Facebook VIP page if they would like to. Facebook and Instagram are a bittersweet battle. They work amazing or they work against you depending on the algorithm, but you never know what somebody's going to see. That brings me to my next thing. When it comes to Facebook and Instagram, obviously you're going to build a huge audience with that. Whether it's private or not, that will kind of vary. For me personally, I have 3 Facebook accounts. I have my personal one that is mainly for my friends and family. It's kind of grown over time though, but it's my personal private one. I have my VIP Facebook page that is for my customers. And in there it is private, but I share pictures of my kids, my life more than just Scentsy. I feel like it's kind of a next step to share my life with people without them being on my personal page. And then I have a public business page. The public business page is going to come in contact with so much more than my private pages are, because my private pages, people aren't going to see it. The public one, they can. So that is something that on Facebook I utilize, and I'm trying to get better at myself, even with coming up with the system of that. But a lot of times I just copy and paste my pictures that I'm putting in my VIP and I put them there. I don't post near as much in my business page, but I'm still posting something with those hashtags to try and grab new audience. Same with Instagram. I have a public Instagram account. So it is public. Anybody can find me. Anybody can see the things that I post and share. It is public. So hashtags are great. There are lots of like influencers out there that give tips and tricks on what you can put on your reels and your posts to grab stuff. And I'm still learning with that, and algorithm changes more than I think the price of gas. So you kind of have to stay on top of it. But having those public platforms do help. Times are changing. A lot of people do like TikTok as well. I personally don't have one of those. I mean, I have one that I look at other people's stuff, but I don't have a TikTok Scentsy page to speak of. YouTube, there are so many different platforms you can do, but whatever you do, just make something it's going to be consistent for you. For me, I get on Facebook and Instagram every day. So I feel like that's something consistent for me that I can easily just post and put something on. It does not take long to do a post, especially if you're using ideas from other people's pages, and that's totally fine. I encourage people all the time, if you see something that I post, like if you're not like on my team or my VIP page, but if you see something I post on my business page, please feel free to use it. We work better together and we grow better together. So I get ideas from people all the time. Pinterest, other people's pages that give permission to share. Use what's out there, because people are sharing it because they want to be helpful. So definitely keep that in mind. It does not have to be an amazing picture. You don't have to look put together. I mean, hello, I look like a hot mess today. You don't have to... You can have your mother-in-law walk in the background too. You don't have to have everything put together, because it's not life anyway. So just be you, be real, show your mess, show your hot mess express, whatever it is that you have. People are honestly going to probably relate more to that than they are to somebody's house that always looks clean and put together and their lives look perfect, because nobody's life is perfect. Share your ups, share your downs, share your struggles, share other things, because what is something that you share may be something that connects you to somebody else. I see people that will share like weight loss journeys in with their Scentsy too. Well, you use a hashtag for weight loss journey and you're broadening your audience for people to come to your page to see other stuff that you post. And then they're going to see Scentsy too. So hashtags are huge on those public platforms. Do not get discouraged if you don't see people like, comment, or react to your posts. Because I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I was talking to my team yesterday about it. When I'm on Facebook, I don't really react to people's stuff. It doesn't mean I don't see it, but I don't react to everything because most of the time I'm kind of aimlessly scrolling and looking. And I can't tell you how many times I see stuff that catches my eyes, makes me smile, makes me laugh. But I don't always react to it. But that doesn't mean people aren't seeing it. So be consistent in what you share. Put your stuff out there. If you're changing your wax, take a picture. If you're filling up your diffuser, take a quick video. Whatever you do, just keep doing it and don't get discouraged by the numbers that you see. Just don't do that. Don't compare yourself to others either, because people are going to see it one way or another, and they're going to see it a heck of a lot better by you doing it than you not doing it. So just do the dang thing. So parties, social media platforms. My next thing is fundraisers. Fundraisers are amazing. I love to give back to the community. I love to get back to people in any way that I can. So with fundraisers, what you're doing is you're not only helping support somebody else's team, financial, whatever you're doing a fundraiser for, there's really no max to it. But when you are sending out the stuff that they purchase from the fundraiser, sticker the heck out of that stuff. Put your name everywhere you can on it, because you are basically also not only helping them, but you're also helping your business because you're putting your information out there. If somebody gets a Scent Circle from a fundraiser and a month from then they're like, man, I really like that, but I have no idea who I got it from, you're going to go to the website and find Joe Schmo on there and order from him instead of coming back to you. Always give your information. Always. Anything that leaves your hand, anything that leaves your door, anything that leaves your website, always have a way for them to get back to you. You never know who is going to slide on by that may have been the potential teamie that is going to take you from director to superstar director, who's going to be that potential customer that's going to get you active this month. You never know who is going to go by. So always, always, always label your stuff. So then there was the fundraisers, events. I love events. I am a huge event person, which is so funny because when I first started this, A, I didn't want to sell at all. I just wanted a discount. But B, I was like, no parties, none, no interest. But then I did a Facebook party and I was like, okay, not too bad. And then I got asked to do an in-person party. It was the best thing ever, ever. It forced me to get out of my shell. I was a nervous wreck. I'm still nervous wrecks at vendor events and in-home parties. I am still and will always be a nervous wreck, but that's okay. You don't have to be a pro at things. Everybody starts from somewhere. You can watch all of the YouTube videos you want. You can watch all the trainings you want. Everybody starts from somewhere, and what works for one person will not work for everybody. So it's great to use those resources. It's great to go off of them, but it's great to practice. And you're not going to do anything if you don't do it and don't try it. You're never going to grow in a comfort zone. So whatever you're uncomfortable with, do it, because I guarantee you that with repetition, you're going to have success. Vendor events are huge to me, and I 150% feel like that is how I am where I am today. When I do a vendor event, of course, all of my products that I have are labeled with my name, my information, my website. I give like a little note with anything that anybody purchases. I put it in the bag. It's got a scented sticker. It's got my Facebook. It's got my Instagram. It has my website. It says a little bit about me. I put it in there. Does everybody look at it? Probably not. Does it end up in the trash can 90% of the time? Probably so. But at least I know I did it, right? Because if you don't do it, it's not going anywhere anyway. Then I follow up. So I get people's information by doing the Scentsy giveaway papers that we have in the consultant store. I have people fill that out, and yes, not everybody is going to fill that out, and that's okay. But what I generally do is when I'm packaging things up or I am getting their payment and everything, take your time. Be like, hey, I'm gonna put this box back together and put your warmer in there. While I'm doing that, do you want to fill out and enter for my giveaway that I'm doing? Don't make it feel obligated or spammy. Just put it out there. And most of the time, if you put it there in front of them, they're going to fill it out. Sometimes they don't. That's okay. But most of the time, people will fill it out. So then when I get home, I put that information in my contact log on the workstation. I do that first. The next thing I do is I text everybody the next day to thank them for coming to my event, to tell them it means so much to me, to tell them that I hope to stay in touch with them. If they want to, they can follow my Facebook link. Just click this below. If they purchase, to say, how did you like it? What did you think of it? If you've tried it yet, I always follow up whether people purchased or they didn't purchase. If I have their information, I guarantee you I'm following up with them. Can't tell you how many times people won't purchase from me at an event, but me following up with people from those giveaway things that they fill out while their friend is buying or whatnot, I get a lot of orders off of those. But had I not followed up with them, wouldn't have got an order, guarantee you. So just because somebody only gets a wax bar, just because somebody only gets a scent circle, just because somebody was only filling out that giveaway form because their friend was checking out and they wanted to win something, never, ever let that slide by. Because again, you never know what you are letting go. So vendor events are huge, but the follow-up is the key to it. You can do vendor events every single weekend, but if you do not follow up or you do not have a system to follow up, it's probably not going to get you where you want to be. So follow up is key for me on that stance. So I text everybody, like I said, and then I usually send like just a little note, with a regular number 10 envelope. Just like a quick little note. If they did purchase from me, I'll send them a scent circle, just like if they were to purchase from me off my website. Sometimes I will use the clearance scent circles that I get, but I just send what I can, a scented sticker, something like that, just to get a smell under their nose, but also, again, to keep your name in the back of their mind. So that is how I work my vendor events. The last thing I want to go over real quick to broaden the audience and whatnot is probably one of my favorite things recently that I'm doing. I have a large amount of people that do local orders. The shipping is $10. I get why Scentsy has shipping. I 100% see it because shipping's outrageous and it can add up there really quick. But people don't want to pay it. I don't want to pay it. I don't expect other people to want to pay it, especially if they're only getting a couple of wax bars. So if I can ever offer for people to not pay shipping, I'm going to offer a way for them to not pay shipping. You can do local orders. If you are going to be ordering something for yourself anyway, you might as well have somebody else put an order in with you, and then heck, the commission you make off their order may have paid for the shipping, or the commission you made off of their order may have just paid for what you were going to buy, regardless if people were in on it or not. So if I'm ever closing out an order, I will always reach out to at least 5 people. That is something that I have promised to myself, that I will always reach out to at least 5 people to see if they would be interested in adding anything in on it. No obligation, just to see. Sometimes people don't, sometimes they do. It's whatever, maybe a wax bar, it may be $100. You never know. Also, if I am closing out a party for somebody else, but it's being shipped to me and then I'm going to give it to them, I offer other people to put in on it. Anytime that you can add other people's stuff to an order that you're going to be paying shipping on anyway, you might as well do that. So just don't ever feel like you have to keep placing orders for other people when you're not placing an order yourself and paying shipping, because the last thing you want to do is put yourself down negative. You don't want to do that. It's going to be a rabbit hole that you don't want to go down. So just be transparent. If somebody does want something local delivered and they're like, hey, I want to go ahead and order this with you, be honest. Be like, okay, I'm not closing out a party or I'm not closing out an order for such and such time. I will go ahead and order that as soon as I do close it out, but I just want to let you know it's not going to be right away. Be transparent. 90% of the time, people are fine with it. If they want it soon enough, they'll probably pay shipping themselves, or they'll see if somebody else wants to go in with them and get shipping, and both of them get a happy mail. I mean, just, do whatever you do, but just be transparent. Honesty is key on that. But how I brought in the audience with my local orders and deliveries is my on-the-go bag. Because if I am going to be delivering something to somebody's house, you bet I'm going to be offering something else too that's going to help benefit. So let me grab it here. So when I do a local delivery, I have 3 on-the-go bags that I have on hand. Right now, I have 1 that I'm going to be giving to somebody else. My other 2 are checked out for now. But the key is how you phrase it. So I would say, hey, Susie, I am going to be heading up to your area today. I'm going to be bringing your Scentsy that you had ordered from me. Did you want to smell the new testers that we have out? Do you want to share some testers at work? Do you want to try our counter clean if they got like laundry stuff that they've never had before? Do you want to try our counter clean too? We have that. Do you want to smell the new scents from the catalog? Most of the time people say yeah, because I'm not saying party. I'm not saying event. I'm not saying link. I'm not saying anything that would require an obligation. So when I go to give them their stuff and they say yeah, guess what else they're getting? They're getting a bag, and on-the-go bags can be any size. It does not have to be anything big. Mine in particular is kind of large, and I could probably make even more if I didn't make them so big. And maybe eventually I'll do that. But for now, I give them this bag. And I'm like, all right, I'll be back in like a week or 2 to pick it up from you. And I go over things real quick with them. And most of the time they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Sometimes I get nothing out of it. I get the bag from them, no orders. That's okay. Sometimes I get $200 in orders. Sometimes I get $100 in orders. It really honestly varies. There's no true thing to say or whatnot, but this stuff is just going to be sitting in my basement. So I might as well just get it out in the hands of somebody else. And hey, if it gets orders and new customers, that's fantastic. But if it doesn't, oh well, it's just sitting down in the basement, right? The stuff is not doing you any good unless you are using it and sharing it. So my on-the-go bag here, again, I do not phrase it as a party. Do not phrase it as a party. Sometimes I don't even say anything about collecting orders necessarily, like towards rewards or anything. I'll say if people like it, or if you like stuff, there's like order forms in there, you can write stuff down, and then when I get it back, I can put it in for you, like no obligation. And then when I get it back, if there's more than 200 or close to 200, I'd say, hey, Susie, thanks so much for sharing that. Just wanted to let you know that you could get a free warmer. You could get a half off a counter clean. You can get, XYZ. Or you're only $20 away from getting this, something like that. I think it's a great way to get it out there, again, without saying the word party. So in my on-the-go bag, I have another video that kind of goes over it too, but I have testers in there. And again, these are testers from previous catalogs that we have. that I have multiple of because I always get the testers for the new catalog. So like Blue Grotto, Squeeze the Day, vanilla bean buttercream, mocha doodle, blueberry cheesecake, baked apple pie, stuff that is in almost every single catalog season. And I have a ton of. If you have a lot of them and you don't really want them back, you could ship them and say, hey, just to let you know, this is equal to 2 wax cubes. So you could share it and whatnot, and then just use them and toss the plastic. You could do that, if just ship like 2, 3, whatnot. If they get orders, great. But use these things. They're not doing anything in totes in your basement. Use them, share them, give them, gift them, because it is wax. You're gifting wax with this. I don't have people use these because again, I get a bag back and then the next local order I do, I offer this again. So I don't necessarily say, hey, use my testers because I'm going to use them with the next person I drop it off at. But you could do that. That's an idea. Another thing I have in here is my personal Scentsy Fresh and Counter Clean. And when I say my personal, there's a lot of air in there. There's not much left. So it is something that when I get low and I'm about to open up another thing of Counter Clean, I put this to the side because there's a little bit left in there. It's the full size bottle for people to get a feel of what it is and how much is in there. But it's a little bit left in there that they can use and try. Same with the Scentsy Fresh. And it's fall now and I'm kind of getting over Fiji flower. That doesn't mean that somebody else won't love it. Let them use it. Let them try it. Let them sample it. I had a girl at an event help herself to opening up some hand cream. So guess what? I got a tester now. I put that in there. Our travel twists. They are on clearance and on sale. So guess what? Put that in there. Just, catalog, whatnot, room spray. It's kind of like a Barney bag, whatever I have, I'm going to put in there. Because again, it's not doing anything sitting at my house. I started doing this recently, which I feel like helps too, because if somebody leaves this stuff in the break room, people are going to be like, what the heck is that? And they're going to walk on by. So I got these folders on sale and I took what is called a scroll and shop, swipe and shop, text and shop, whatever you want to call it, shop and scroll. And I just printed off the pages and I put them in these page protectors. Goes over me. People can scan this and get free scented stickers and a catalog sent to them. It goes over how to order if they want to order. If they've never used Scentsy, I have some information on warmers. I have information on the kinds of warmers that we have. Our wax, I have information on our pods, our cleaner, all of that stuff, because if people are sitting down in a break room and they're eating and they're looking and they're like, oh, I didn't know Scentsy did laundry now. Maybe a new favorite thing for them. So I put that in there. And in the little pocket up front are the order forms. Because if Jane is sitting in the break room eating her lunch and she's smelling those testers and she's like, oh, actually, that smells really good. Or my mom would love that. They're right here. So she could just fill that out real quick. On this one page, I have my Venmo, my PayPal information they can pay me with. They could put cash in there. And then when I get the bag back, I can put it in. These on the go parties brought in so much. And again, it's using stuff that I would otherwise be collecting dust in the basement. Use what you have. Don't let stuff sit there and go to waste. Gift it, give it, use it, sample it, whatever you do, be creative with it. Try things. You never know what is going to make a big difference. You never know what is going to be amazing until you try it. Step out of that comfort zone. Do the things that you're like, oh, she does that and it does really well for her. Do it. You are not going to be a pro at it. You're probably going to mess up the first few times. probably going to mess up the first few hundred times. I don't know. I do all the time. I cannot tell you one party or event that I have not forgotten one thing. I always forget something. But it's just part of it. It is part of it. You learn, you go, you see what works, what doesn't work, you get ideas. But just do stuff. Don't ever be hesitant. Get people's information, reach out to them. Most people don't text me back, but that doesn't mean they don't order. Again, it goes back to the Facebook and the Instagram stuff. People don't like it, they don't share it, they don't comment on it. It doesn't mean they don't see it. You're not hurting anything. If somebody tells me to stop texting them, and again, I'm not a hammer texter, I cannot stand that. But if somebody were to say, hey, take me out of your email thing, that's okay. I'll do it. I respect that. It's fine. I'm not going to throw a fit. But me texting them after they ordered something, you never know. That might be a huge order that comes with you later on. So just don't be afraid to do stuff. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. If you get $100 a month, that's $100 in PRV. If you get 500, that's amazing. If you get 5, that's still more than what you would have gotten doing nothing. Don't get discouraged. Don't get let down. Give it a try. Have fun. Share what you joined to share for, and get out there. That's really what it comes down to. So hopefully that helps. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Again, follow-up is my huge thing that I do, but not everybody's system is perfect for everybody. So find your own little nick and go with it. But if you have any questions, let me know, and hopefully that helps you guys a little bit. But thanks again for watching. So thanks.